Welcome back, YouTube, to the GoatCast podcast. I am Big Nige. Happy holidays. Thanksgiving's on the way. So for all the big backs out there, the season is here. How we
Nah,
doing today, CW?
we good. My back ain't big yet, but I got a few days to get ready for it.
And all the preparation will be made. So that's
And then
good.
we have some big backs coming up in our topic. So
Oh, for sure. But before we mention the big back of the NBA, we need to talk about the injuries that this NBA season has incurred. So this season, there's already seen over 1,000 games lost to injury or illness, reaching that mark a week earlier than last year. Key absences, guys like Zion, who we will talk about later, Jokic
Zion is
for
a
personal
bust.
reasons, Ingram, Paulo Banchero, Scotty Barnes, the list goes on. A lot of people are hurt. So I pose the question to you, CW, and the rest of you guys. Who's more to blame for these injuries that seem to be plaguing the league? Is it the players' fault, or is it on these team doctors and these trainers?
Mhm. I'm almost ready to say it's the teams because it seems like now there's a protocol they follow for any kind of injury. It's you tweak your ankle, something like that, your knee, a ligament, you'll get reevaluated in 3 weeks. It's just that's protocol now. So I guess through advanced technology, whatever, that they've decided they have a format for how long they're going to keep you on the sidelines. They have a format of, when you're going to get back into a game. I think it's the owners. I think, you look at a Chris Paul. If he gets hurt, obviously he's going to need about 3 weeks to to get right, and maybe even more. But 3 weeks sounds right. But LaMelo Ball, who's in his 20s, he's early 20s. Some of those guys their body's going to heal quicker because they're younger. They're healthy, all those things. They haven't had the wear and tear of guys like CP3. So they will, should they need 3 weeks? I don't know. I mean, the severity might be different across the board, but you think that this is just a protocol they're following. I think a lot of teams are scared after what happened with Kawhi Leonard. The my Spurs misdiagnosed him, brought him back too quickly, and then boom, he's upset with the organization and he wants out. So they definitely don't want that with these guys getting paid much more now. So I think it's the organizations that are doing this. I think they see these guys not as athletes but more as assets because these guys are getting paid mega money to bring money to them. I know they can't bring money to you off the court of sitting in a bed somewhere, but you want them for the big moments. So you can you can look at the calendar and say, hey, I'm gonna sit you out when we play Toronto. That game's not gonna do anything, so you can sit out. We can probably beat them, but we'll bring you in when we play Boston or the Lakers or somebody like that. So I think the players want to play. We hear it a lot that these players are soft, they don't want to play, but this is their living. So I'm sure they don't want to sit on the sidelines and be called soft and all these other things, street clothes, things of that nature. But unfortunately, they have to. The team doctors, whoever, they have the right to say you can't play. And I heard Gil talking about that. If you think you're going to go in there and just put your uniform and play, you're wrong because they're not even going to have your uniform there. So you can't just go in there, or you'll get penalized if you try to, circumvent the protocol and go in and do your own thing. So I think that, unfortunately, I think teams are seeing, what can happen if we don't keep them out or if we rush them back out there. You see a lot of I'm sad to say, but you look at the players from the 90s and things like that, they didn't have long careers. So they played, 13 seasons and that was it. So they want these guys out there, especially if they're money makers. They want them out there for a while so they can, produce for you. And so I think they're just very cautious now, more cautious than they were in the past. And I don't want to put it on the players. I don't think the players are soft or the players are trying to sit out. I think they have to follow the protocol. So this is what happens. And if you're playing fantasy league like I am, and the style we're playing where you can't substitute, you're doomed, because one day Giannis will play, next day Giannis is out, Cade Cunningham out, and I can't sub, so I'm losing. But yeah, so, and fact be told, Giannis has been day to day the entire season, even though he's played almost every game except for one. If you look at the fantasy league listing based off of the team listing, he's day to day every day. So teams are just being more cautious.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. Something is telling me, and it's like I don't want to just vilify the players, but like stay with me where I'm going.
I think the play.
Well, I mean, sometimes I am, but it just kind of weighs on me. Like, these are professional athletes. At certain points, when I just gave you the graphic about how the players and they're out with injuries, illnesses, things of that nature, that number is not trajectory. It's not trending in a positive direction. It was getting worse and worse. So as much as I want to look and be like, man, what's going on with these doctors and these trainers? I got to look at the players, man. Like, what are these guys doing in their off season, in their free time to make their bodies, ready for an 82 game season, right? We see so many times that these star players, and there's a lengthy list of them who are just not playing games. And it's like, just like you mentioned, this is your job. This is what you get paid to do. They break down all these multi-million-dollar contracts by the second, by the game, by the hour. Like, they're making boatloads of money. And the only expectation is you play 82 games or however many games. You talk about playing in the postseason as well. You need to make sure that your body is ready to go for an 82 game season. Bottom line, period. Right. And with that, a lot of these players are just not hitting that mark. And I think CW is frozen. He is not moving. But regardless of that, I'm just not seeing how these players continue to miss the mark on their training. Like, we see all these videos of these players, running, doing sprints, sand dunes, all these different things. But when it comes down to it, a lot of these players are just not there when it counts the most. And I can't blame the doctors, because they're only doing, what they feel is best for the team, right? But if we're looking at the player, it shouldn't get to a point where now you have these nagging injuries, because most players in the NBA are hurt, right? You don't walk into the season and then 10 games in, you're still fully healthy. Like, you do incur some damage, but you should be at a point now in terms of your body being durable, especially young guys in the league, where these ticky-tack injuries shouldn't be affecting you in the manner that they do, right? So I have to look at the players and be like, what is going on with your preparation? How are you treating your body in the offseason? What are you eating? Especially with the guy we're about to talk about. Like, we already saw his back tattoo, and he turns around. We can clearly tell that Zion Williamson is not eating properly, not conducive of a professional athlete. I'm not saying he's probably severely overweight, but for a guy of his size to do the things that he needs to do on the basketball court, yeah, he's overweight. And so you take a combination of all of that. I don't see a reason for the players. Like, I don't see why no one's holding these guys accountable, with that. But as CW is still working through his technical difficulties, we're going to hold off on if Zion is a bust. I want to make sure he's in here for that. So we're going to kind of segue into another segment, more positive note, and we'll jump back in it when CW gets back. But we're going to talk about the rookie class. And, who, at least for me right now, who I got for Rookie of the Year. I want to give some honorable mentions out before I give you my pick. But we're going to start with a guy who I didn't even mention when I was talking about my preseason picks and my preseason predictions, a guy in Donovan Clingan. He's a big guy. He's about 7'2". He's a really, really big guy for the Portland Trailblazers. Plays behind DeAndre Ayton. And he's averaging, 6 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2.2 blocks per game. You know, he's been very solid for them. And when I did my preseason picks, when I factored the Trailblazers, I didn't really think of him as a difference maker, if I'm going to be completely honest. You know, I thought of him more as just like another big body, little to no skill, and just wasn't what I thought he was going to be. And you translate to his game, because he was a very solid shot blocker in college. He transitions that to the NBA, and he looks phenomenal. He pulled down 19 rebounds against the Houston Rockets. I think it was 2 nights ago, where they beat the Rockets. I think it was like 104-98, something like that. And he played. He showed his impact. He showed what he can do on the NBA level. We need to see him progress, obviously, but got to throw his name out there. Will he win Rookie of the Year? I don't think so, but he's definitely playing some good basketball. Right behind him, I got my man Zach Edey, who was, I think, everybody's consensus to be Rookie of the Year, because they didn't really know too much about these other guys I'm going to bring up. Because again, you got like Risa Shea, Alex Sarr, Shepard, all these guys who weren't really household names, they were just really good in the draft. So Edey has given me 11 points a game on 6.9 rebounds. He's shooting 61% from the field, and he's shooting 60% from the three-point line on very low volume. So again, great that he can step out there and hit those shots, but again, he's not shooting enough of them for me to be considering that he could be a stretch 5 one day. He's in about 20 minutes of action. He's already became the first rookie to have 25 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, and he shot it on 90% from the field and 100% from the three-point line. He went 9 of 10 that night against the Brooklyn Nets, and he went 1 for 1 from 3. So that was his history, showing that he has the capability to hit perimeter shots, be a force down low, and he can match these bigs with his physicality. And that was a big thing for him, considering he doesn't have his NBA body yet. He's just a naturally big body. So I like how he's moving out there. I like how he's reacting on the pick and roll. He is still a little slow-footed, but definitely trending in the right direction for sure. And I had a lot of questions with him and Ja Morant, but seeing those two guys together on the court, hey man, they could be scary in a couple years. I think the fit, albeit an awkward one, it can work. And you pair him with other guys like Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, like you have a nice, solid squad. You might have to stagger those Jaren Jackson minutes, but definitely a name to be on the lookout for, but not my Rookie of the Year. We got Dalton Knecht. He's number 2 on the list. In the 23 minutes of action, he's given me 11.5 points per game, 1.1 rebounds, 2.8 assists, shooting 51% from the field and 45% from 3 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, anybody who knows the Lakers, who knows what their biggest weaknesses are, it's been shooting. They got a steal in the draft in Dalton Knecht. As far as I'm concerned, they should be praying to the basketball gods. I don't know how he got to the Lakers, but I'm so thankful he did, because he has been shooting phenomenally for this ball club. And so against the Utah Jazz, we got to see more of his shooting capabilities, where, he shot and tied an NBA record, made 9 threes against the Utah Jazz, ended up going, I believe it was 9 for 12 from 3, and he scored 37 points. And this was in the in-season or the NBA Cup game, so it was a high-stakes game. He showed you that he can deliver when his name is called on. He clearly, to me, is the best shooter on this team, and it ain't close, right? So coupling that with what we're seeing with Dalton Knecht now, he might be the shooter that LeBron has been waiting for. We still need to address other pieces in the roster, and it's not going to be a Lakers video, but I got to give Dalton Knecht his flowers. Right now, he's playing like the second best rookie in this class. But, of course, and I know you all were thinking this just like me, Jared McCain of the 76ers, man. I was asleep at first, but, man, he done woke me up. So in 24 minutes of action, Jared McCain has given the the 76ers, 16.6 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 2.8 assists per game, 2.2 rebounds, 46% from the field and 40% from the three. And this is on pretty solid volume. So in his first 5 starts, he recorded the most three-pointers made by a starter in their first 5 games. And on top of that, he also has scored 5 straight 20-point performances. Now, unfortunately, the 76ers are not the greatest right now. So he lost pretty much all those games except the one against the Brooklyn Nets, where he ended up scoring 30 points. And I don't know if that was the game where he was going on yelling that he was the rookie of the year. But nonetheless, Jared McCain right now is playing like the best rookie. I think you could make an argument for maybe Dalton Connect. Maybe you could throw in a Jalen Wells in there, depending on how depending on how you have watched the Grizzlies and seen his ability to hit perimeter shots and play meaningful minutes for that roster as well, alongside Zach Edey. But for me, Jared McCain is the number one guy, and it's really not that close. If you really look at it, if you look at what he's doing, seeing him and Maxey together, definitely something to think about. Like Paul George, them fraud cases aren't looking. He might not beat them allegations because Paul George has looked very sad. And I'll get on to the Sixers probably in another video because they've been looking very pitiful this year. But we got through the rookies. Definitely let me know down below who you guys got for Rookie of the Year so far. Definitely a nice list of candidates. I think this rookie class is like a slow start, but we're starting to see them kind of show out in big ways, kind of get their names out there on these box scores and making an impact in the NBA. So, no complaints there. So I guess since CW still having some technical difficulties, let's go ahead and let's jump into this topic about Zion Williamson. Is Zion a bust? And this one's really hard for me because I really like watching Zion play when he plays. He's played 190 games this season, and he's averaged 24.6 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1 steal, 0.6 blocks per game, so about a block a game, shooting 58% from the field, 69% from the free throw line, which isn't the greatest, and shooting a respectable 34% from the three-point line. Still not going to scare you out there, but respectable. Now, when I give you these numbers, to me, they don't sound like busts. They sound like perennial all-star, an all-NBA caliber guy, and someone who easily could be in MVP conversations, assuming his health. But again, bring up the word health, man, because for whatever reason, Zion cannot stay healthy. And, it's one thing to look at the reports and the rumors and say, oh, he's overweight. Oh, he doesn't look conditioned. All these things. I thought this was going to be the season. Right? He started the season a little slow. In the 6 games that he has played this season, he's averaged 22 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting the career worst 45% from the field, 33 from the three-point line, and 66.7 from the free throw line. So obviously nothing great there. But he was trending in the right direction. He just had a little bit of a slow start. He's missed 188 games of a possible 302. That's starting to kind of trend to that bust category. And the biggest reason why is because when you think of a bust, at least for me, I think a bust is someone, again, who just does not live up to the hype. Point blank, period. As great as we have seen Zion, there has been far too many occasions where he just is not there to answer the call for his team. He is their undisputed best player. He is also perpetually injured. And it's always something with Zion, man. And I know you guys have out there seen his new back tattoo, but then he turns around and he shows you he's got a stomach in the chest that looks like a lot of y'all's in the comment section. Not saying all y'all overweight, but I'm just saying he just looking like another regular dude. He don't look like he's taking his fitness correctly. Doesn't like he's dieting properly. I don't know what Zion's doing because in the offseason, it looked like he lost a bunch of weight, right? We got everybody going out there, especially me included, Ozempic Zion. I thought he was about to go up there and tear the league apart. Come to find out, more injuries. And unfortunately, he was getting comparisons to guys like this guy, LeBron James. But I think it might be time to start comparing him to Greg Oden. And I'm not really joking when I say that, because we just got to look at the injury history. This man has just missed too many games on far too many occasions to be anything but a bust. Is the alarm bells ringing for bust? Sure. Is he officially a bust? I wouldn't go that far right now, but I mean, if he continues this, I mean, he's gonna look like a bust no matter, unless he can turn his career around, like starting this season and playing, maybe another 9 years playing, averaging these numbers like 25 and 7 rebounds. Like, he can beat the bust allegations, but right now it's not looking good for Zion. Gonna have to say a prayer for him, man, because Thanksgiving's right around the corner. We all know Zion like to eat. So we just got to hope that big back just isn't as big as it has been in the past. We need him to control his diet. We need him to take his health seriously, all jokes aside, because we do want to see Zion back on the court. It's fun to make jokes. It's fun. It's all fun and games. But this man's losing money. Like, he's losing millions of dollars. The more games he's missing, legally by his contract, he could be out of a percentage of his salary because of the games he's going to miss. I think he has to hit the 41 game threshold, which is still possible, but the more time he's out, that clock is ticking. And we understand that his injury history is a lengthy one, and it likes to bite him in the butt. So, is Zion a bust? I can't give him the bust nod now. But I will say that it's not looking good for him. We need to stop comparing him to Barkley, LeBron. He needs to be in the comparison of Greg Oden, man. It's very sad. And we just got a comment from CW. He just pulled up and said everything is gone all of a sudden. So right now I'm rocking this show solo, but CW is doing what he can to get back online with me. But right now it's just your boy right now, So, hopefully he can come back and he can weigh in on this. But for me, I don't want to give him the title of bust yet. My great guy, Kwame Brown, funny guy. If you haven't watched his channel, definitely go check his channel out. That man's hilarious. He does a lot of content, especially outside of basketball. He's a very intelligent person, but he played 12, 13 seasons. Obviously, he wasn't number one pick caliber in terms of his production, but he stretched his career out. However, he did it. So I mean, and he got labeled a bust. Is Zion in that Greg Oden, Kwame Brown type of company? We'll have to wait and see. I just know that the days of him being compared to these Pantheon greats, I think it's far too gone. I think his injury history is just too long. So we're just gonna have to see. Bottom line, we're just gonna have to see. Say a prayer for Zion. Pray that he does not eat too much turkey this week for Thanksgiving, and that he starts trending in the right direction finally, so he can beat these bust allegations. So outside of that, I think the last topic that I had was to discuss this NBA All-Star format. And for those who are not aware, the All-Star format is going to consist of 3 teams of the NBA All-Stars, where so you have your traditional 24, 12 from each conference, all that shebang, cool. You're going to split those guys up into 3 teams of 8, and then 1 team of the winning team of the Rising All-Star game. So I really don't know how to feel about this, to be honest. I think Adam Silver is trying as the commissioner. He's trying to find something, trying to find more ways to make the NBA exciting, trying to bring some competitive nature back into the All-Star game, but I think this is just I don't really like it. I don't really care for it. I mean, sure, it's a pickup style. So sure, like some people are gonna like it, but like personally, if you want these guys to play hard, I think Gilbert Arenas said it best. You just gotta make these guys play for some money. Like, you see how hard these guys are playing for the in-season tournament and how, it's night and day compared to the regular season games. Oh, what's up, Sport Talk? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. It's been all over the place, but glad that you're tuning in. Hope work is well. Hope everything is good with you, and hopefully we can. Hopefully I'll be on the next time you're on, so we can catch up a little bit. But hope you're well. I know CW is still working on getting back on here, but again, just me. So, but like I said, as we were talking about the in-season tournament, NBA Cup, you just see the difference in how these guys are playing, how they're going out there, how they're putting their bodies on the line. Some of these guys really, really need that money. Especially this younger team who hasn't, hit their All NBA achievement, so they don't get the big bag. They still get a lot of money. Just those that seventh, eighth, ninth man on the roster who's not making as much. So again, that money is incentive to them, right? But now you're going to have perennial all-stars in there and some new guys who are making these new all-star league, especially with how trash the East is looking. We might have some more young cats making it. Maybe a Chet, maybe a Jalen Williams. List goes on for sure. And so with that, I mean, you could put whatever dollar amount somewhere in the millions. I'm sure the NBA is good for it. I just think if you want these guys to compete, you got to sweeten the pot, man. And I'm pretty sure Gilbert Arenas also said, like, I think the winner of each quarter could win X amount of $1 million, right? So that would incentivize your group, and it would incentivize the coaching, right? Because now not only do the players get a bonus, the coach will get a bonus. And the more we're talking about bringing in more money, because at the end of the day, these guys are playing for the money. Like, yes, it's the love of the game, but they ain't playing this game for free. They ain't hopping on TV doing the post game, all that stuff for the love of the game. It's the dollar amount. So you have to sweeten the pot. You have to find some way to make this competitive. You don't have to keep switching up the lineups and trying this pickup game. I just think it just doesn't make a lot of sense. If I'm an NBA player and I'm a veteran, I'm cool. I'm like in my early 30s, mid 30s. This format to me just doesn't make me want to try harder, because the All-Star weekend is a chill weekend. But if you throw money in there, hey, everybody has aspirations of making X amount of dollars in their lifetime, right? Some of these millionaire dudes, they want to become billionaires. The way that's going to happen, more money, more incentives, right? So that's, for me personally, how I think it should go. I mean, sure, am I going to tune in and check it out? Absolutely. I mean, a pickup style for the All-Star weekend definitely sounds interesting. Maybe even you get to see that team of the rising stars. Maybe they're going to give it to those teams of those like veterans and NBA All-Stars. We will never know, but I just don't put a lot of stock in it personally. So that's pretty much it for that one. Were there you guys have any questions? Anybody want to like say anything? Hop on. See, we got a good amount of people in here. It's only Big Nige right now. CW still having technical difficulties. I pretty much ran through most of my topics, truthfully speaking. But I don't see anything. I think everybody's probably just about done for the night. I got to do some packing myself. I know if y'all are going anywhere for the holidays, definitely make sure you guys drive safe. Probably going to go ahead and wrap this show up, since it is just me, my big old head. I know you ain't trying to see me for much longer, so I think Big Nige is going to go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate you guys for pulling up to the show. Hopefully me and CW can work out these network issues with StreamYard. Usually it's really good for us, but I see CW wanted to weigh in, but again, he's not not in here right now. Am I going to be on Friday? That's going to be a TBD. I'm supposed to be traveling on Friday for a little vacation, so I might be. I'm not going to rule it out, but might have to talk with y'all behind the scenes on that one. So I definitely want to get in on that GOAT talk, GOAT talk only. Definitely want to weigh in and give y'all my response to y'all's list, and obviously give y'all my list on my, top 5, top 10, my GOATs of the NBA. So, but says you Sport Talk got a question. No, I feel like I answered it. But if there's anything else, feel free to drop something else in the chat as we wrap things up tonight. I need to look something up real quick. Let's see here. What was that I was looking up? Okay. I don't see the question that Sports Talk had for me. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Everybody be safe. Everybody have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving for everyone. Best of luck for everybody who's going to go outside in them wild streets for Black Friday. More power to you. I will not be doing that, but I will be doing my online shopping. So everybody take care. Have a blessed one. And appreciate y'all for showing up. And hopefully we can get this addressed. So until next time, everybody, y'all be safe. Happy holidays, and I'm out.